Welcome in, everybody. I'm sitting here with my matcha and with my notes, and today we're talking about healing your feminine energy through daily rituals. And I think what many people don't understand when they think about feminine energy is that we have to fill our own cup first. Because when we think about feminine energy, like we associate nurturing, life giving, loving qualities with the feminine. But many of us think that it means over functioning, running the house, constantly being always nice to everyone, and constantly like giving to other people. And many people think that this is feminine energy, but this is not feminine energy. Because if your own cup is empty, if you feel drained, if you feel tired, and you constantly feel the need that you have to do something for others, to be loving, to give all of that, you cannot do it because your own cup is empty. So if you really want to be a good mother, a good friend, all of that, a good partner, you have to nourish yourself first, because feminine energy can only give from her overflow when she feels aligned and connected with herself. But if you are drained, if your cup is empty, you operate from masculine energy. It's this planning, fixing, performing energy, and this is the masculine energy. And when we operate from that energy for too long, we will just feel disconnected from ourselves, and this is not our nature. And yes, we can be super loving, super giving, but only if our own cup is full. So the number one secret to actually be in that feminine energy and to radiate this loving energy is to fill your own cup first. And how do you do that? A nourished woman is a loving woman, and a rested woman is also a present woman. So number one is that you have to take care of your basic needs. That means getting enough sleep, also eating nourishing, healthy foods that support your body, that support your energy levels. Things like movement, go outside for a walk, like move that energy which is stuck in your body and really create this flow state. And if these basic needs are already off, then also everything else will feel off. So it's really important to go back to the basics and nourish yourself and fill your own cup so that you can be a better mother, a better friend, a better partner, and actually be this feminine woman. Also take care of your hygiene and think about beauty in a way of self-care, not in a way of performance. You don't have to be beautiful for others, but you are beautiful for yourself, because when you take care of yourself, when you dress in a way that makes you feel confident, that makes you feel good about yourself, when you smell good, you feel different about yourself, and also your energy will be different. So you also radiate in a different frequency, and other people can feel that. And I think I need to talk more about sleep as well. Sleep is one of our basic needs, and sleep is really the foundation for everything. You have to understand that. Before you want to work on your diet, before you want to work on your goals, on your new project, all of that, fix your sleep first, and I promise you everything else will become so much easier. And especially we as women, we need more sleep than men. There's a new study now out there. So make sure you get at least 8 hours of sleep. And in our luteal phase and menstrual phase, we actually need even more sleep. So maybe even 9 or 10 hours. So it's so interesting. Our bodies are functioning so different than men. And it's actually so important for us to be rested in order to really function during the day. When you are rested, you have fewer cravings, you have better brain function, more mental clarity, you are more creative, you have more ideas, you also have more energy, concentration, more patience for maybe your children. You really will be a different person, and everything else will become so much easier. When you're rested, it's easier for you to work on your goals. It's easier to take care of your children. It's easier to go to the gym, to eat healthy. All of that will fall into place once you fix your sleep. Everything else will become so much easier. And everyone knows how it feels like whenever you had a bad night of sleep, when you were sleep deprived. Maybe you remember on the next day, you are just so drained, so tired, and you don't feel like yourself anymore. So it actually really makes you a different person. And the more rested you are, the more easy it is for you to actually become your dream person and also to radiate in your feminine energy. When we are sleep deprived, we are in survival mode. And actually, my next point to be in your feminine energy is to get out of that survival mode state. Survival mode is actually what kicks in when our body is under stress and when your nervous system thinks it's in danger. And thousands of years ago, this was the response that kept us alive when a wild animal was chasing us. But now we don't have these dangers anymore, but we have our modern dangers, our modern stress factors. Things like the overstimulation, work stress, caffeine, lack of sleep. This still triggers this stress response and brings us in the survival mode. And this is when your heart rate spikes, also when your brain shuts down the long-term thinking, and also your digestion slows down. And when you are in survival mode, you cannot be in your feminine energy. This is so important to understand, because feminine energy is connected to her body. She is in the flow. She is like really connected with her heart, and you cannot feel this in the moment when you are in survival mode. Your cortisol will stay high, you will feel super stressed, you also struggle to stay present, you will feel tired, and also your hormones are not in balance when you are in survival mode. So, and here are some tips that you can do that bring you out of survival mode. And I think also many women who think they operate too much in their masculine energy, or they think like, I cannot be in my feminine energy, those women are actually most of the time in survival mode, and that's why they cannot feel this connection to their bodies anymore. So here are my tips, what you can do to get out of this mode, to be more present and more connected to your body. Number one is to not scroll first thing in the morning. If the first thing that you do in the morning is to look at your phone, scroll on social media, reading your emails, news, whatever it is, this will trigger your survival mode instantly. And you will be stressed during the whole day. So instead of looking your phone first thing, you can take maybe 10 minutes, wake up 10 minutes earlier, do some breathing exercises. Maybe you do a 10-minute guided meditation. Maybe you do some journaling, whatever it is, but do something where you are present with yourself and where you connect with your body. And this actually makes a whole difference, because you're not stressed first thing when you wake up. My next tip that also helped me so much to get out of this stress mode is to reduce caffeine. Like, I switched coffee to matcha, which is amazing, because when you drink coffee, especially on an empty stomach, this will spike your cortisol and you will be directly in survival mode. So if you want to have your coffee, it's fine, but have it after your breakfast. Eat something before. So it's actually so much better for your hormones, and your cortisol will not spike that much. And also in general, if you drink a lot of coffee, maybe you reduce your caffeine intake a little bit. Then I switched to matcha, And I love it because there's still caffeine inside, but it's a different energy than from coffee. And there's also L-theanine, which also gives you this calmness and not really this aggressive, impulsive energy. And I also had always such a crush from coffee. Like at midday, I had such a crush. I felt so low, and I don't have this from matcha anymore. So if you like matcha, I really recommend to try it out. And always also make sure to buy a high quality matcha, because I know there are some matchas on the market. First of all, they don't taste good. They seriously taste like grass, like everyone says. And when the color is green and very intense, this means it's a high quality matcha. Always look for ceremonial grades, and honestly, it makes such a difference. The energy is amazing. I can concentrate for hours and I just feel really good about myself. So cheers. And my last tip, which is really important if you want to be connected to your feminine energy, and that is to bring the focus back to you. Feminine energy is super self-focused, on self-centered, but not in a negative way. Because if you constantly focus on other people, your friends, your partner, your children, if you're too much focused on them and not connected to yourself anymore, you have a super desperate energy because you constantly want that they fulfill your needs. And it also makes you super stressed and super unhappy with your life. And the more you put your focus back to yourself and make sure that you are the source of your own happiness, you will become super, super, super magnetic, and other people will come to you because you vibrate at a different frequency. When people are happy and fulfilled by their own, this is what makes them super magnetic, super attractive to others. And that's also the reason, because there are sometimes people, they really, really want a relationship and they're so focused on finding the right partner. And most of the time, the right partner will come into your life when you don't look for them. The right partner will come when you are already fulfilled and happy by your own, because this is when you're not in this desperate, needy energy. Otherwise, you will maybe attract a codependent relationship, which is also not healthy. So the more you are fulfilled by your own, the better your life will become, and you actually can attract so many opportunities, abundance, possibilities, just because you are in the right energy. You don't have to chase all those things in the outside anymore, because you are the center for your happiness, and so things will naturally flow into your life. So when you invest in your own joy, this is what makes you super attractive, super magnetic. You're not chasing anymore and you really start to glow. So I recommend you to choose one thing this week that you do for yourself. You can, for example, go to a Pilates class, to a dance class. Maybe you want to start a new hobby. Maybe you want to be creative and paint something, make some art. Whatever it is, you can learn something new, a new language, instrument. You can also go on a solo date. Maybe you want to have some nice breakfast and spend some time with yourself. And you will see it's actually so much fun to spend time with yourself. Like, you really connect back with who you are and back from other people. And I also like to go on walks in nature. Nature has natural feminine energy, and whenever I'm in nature, I feel so connected with myself again, less stressed. So nature is my number one tip if you want to connect to this feminine frequency and really learn to be happy on your own and fulfilled by your own. So often we are under this pressure to constantly perform, to constantly be there for others, but you cannot be there for others if you cannot even be there for yourself. So give yourself some time, invest in yourself, and you will see that you glow differently and that you also have more energy for others and that you can actually a better person for others. That was my little matcha talk. Thank you so much for watching, and it would really help me out if you could follow my channel and also leave me a comment or a like. Thank you so much.